Hi, this is Daniel with In Time Country Living, and on this video I'm going to get our sweet peppers started here. That's coming up. So I'm so glad you decided to watch this video today. I hope this will be beneficial to you and you can learn a few things. So to get started here, I want to go over quickly what varieties I'm going to be planting here, just because people like to know. I always like to know what varieties are people growing, what has worked well for them in the past. I can't necessarily recommend any of these because I haven't tried them before. Most years I haven't had real good success starting my peppers, and that's, I'm pretty sure, is because I have started them too late in the season. Peppers I was starting at the same time as my tomatoes, and a little more research this year found out that it really take about 3 weeks before setting them out, rather than 2 weeks or a week and a half for tomatoes. So one thing I did last year though is to get a mature pepper and save the seeds out of it from some of the starts. So we'll see how that works this year. Got my packet of seeds here that I saved. Probably got, I don't know, 40 or 50 seeds out of one here. So we're going to give that as one of the varieties we're trying this year. And also Baker Creek Heirloom decided to put in some pepper seeds as our free seeds, free gift, when we got some other seeds from Baker Creek. So they gave us some sweet chocolate pepper. Don't know a whole lot about it. No other information on the packet, just has a picture of, who is this lady? This is Dr. Vandana Shiva or something like that. Anyway, I've heard about her before. I've seen some of her lectures. I'm not terribly impressed with her, but anyway. So then Golden California Wonder Pepper is the other variety that I'm going to be trying this year. It's a yellow pepper. See here, what other characteristics? A popular bell pepper. I think this is one that I've actually did last year, buying it as a start, and it was quite good. So it did well. So that's the Golden California Wonder Pepper. And then the other one I chose is that one. Does it even say? Doesn't, no, 75 days. Okay, so the California Wonder Pepper is a 75-day pepper, and this is a 70-day pepper, so this should hopefully produce a little bit more. It's called a giant Congagoo. Having a clue. ACONCAGAU, whatever that's called. Anyway, so this is going to try this one here. Vigorous plant fruits are usually used with lime green, but will ripen to red as well. Oh, okay. So normally they're at 70 days. They're probably still a little bit green, and then but they'll ripen to a red. So anyway, these seeds I got here from Trade Winds Fruit. I get quite a few of my seeds there. I like them a lot. They have good prices. They just get it from the normal, I guess, seed market. A lot of their stuff is open pollinated and organic as well, so I like to get a lot from them. This one, which is also from there, is called Gypsy Pepper. So this one is a F1 hybrid, 60 days. So thought I'd give that one a try. Won't be able to save the seeds from it and really get the true variety, but just have to make a note of that and not bother to save the seeds on that one. The other ones are all open pollinated. This is called Midnight Dreams, so we're going to give that one a try. That one's doesn't say how many days to maturity on this one. Darkest colored bell pepper on the market today. Doesn't say what color it is though. So Midnight Dreams. It's probably one of those purplish ones. That's probably what it's talking about, being the darker. So I tried to get several different colors just for variety. So Can't say they gave me a lot of seeds, so I was a little bit disappointed at that because I won't be able to, these are the kind like the Gypsy one, minimum 10 seeds. Well, I counted them out, 10 seeds, that's all I got. So I used them. This packet's already empty. I'll just show you why here in a minute. But anyway, so this one got 25 seeds in this one, Midnight Dreams. Some of these are, I think seed companies tend to do that. They put a little bit in one and a lot in the other, probably based off of how many they can get. If that's more of, difficult to get seed, or, the cost is higher that year, they probably limit how many they put in the packet. So anyway, it's a little bit disappointing since one pepper can produce so many. Anyway, so what I've done in advance to get this going is last evening or so, I got all my varieties sorted out, how many I wanted to do of each one. I'm going to do, 50 plants is what I'm anticipating for. I have about 25 feet of bed space, which is 30-inch beds. And so what I've done in the past and worked really well is to do two beside each other, two, all the way down the row. So that means 25 and then another row of 25. So that works pretty well. So of course I'm going to need a few extra because some are going to die because of disease, or they're going to be weak. Some bug may decide to eat them. So you always need a little bit of a buffer here. So since my flats are 72 cells, I'm going to fill this up and then I'm going to pot these up. So these are 72 cells in a tray, so that's the size they are, size rating. So this is also what I'm going to start my tomatoes in, and this gives me an easy way to germinate them in the house without having to have 75. In this case I'm only going to use pepper plants don't get near as big as tomatoes do. Tomatoes, I put them in a gallon pot when I pot them up, and the peppers I put them in the 3.5-inch pots. I have quite a few 3.5-inch pots, so I use those for the pepper plants. So anyway, I'm going to start them here. So I have, what I did last night is to get we had a bunch of these screw top mason jar lids. So I just needed a bunch of little containers, so I figured since I got a bunch of these that are new still, convenient to put a bunch of all my varieties in these. So rather than writing the variety on the actual container, scribbling it on, so that is where my garden plan comes in. I write the name on here once, and then I don't have to write it anymore. I put a number next to it, so each one of these are numbered off. So I have my chocolate variety as number 1, and I write also next to it how many I'm going to plant, kind of decide which varieties I think will do better, ones that I think I want more of. So I just kind of numbered it off, like the chocolate ones. Don't know anything about them, don't know how long they're going to take, they may not turn out at all. Freebie, they're trying to get rid of the seeds, you never know. So I'm going to plant 4 of those, and also going to have the Gypsy pepper. I'm going to do 10 of those, and 11 of the Aconcagua, however you say that one. Midnight Dream 10, Golden California one 10, and 5 of my own. So anyway, so I got all these what's called pre-soaked, and one of the things the benefits of pre-soaking your seeds is that they're going to germinate faster. They will soak up water when you moisten the soil after they're planted, but they're going to, when they're sitting in water, they are going to germinate a little bit faster. And if you have time to do all this, you have maybe half hour or something to get all these seeds together, and then you're out of time, then this would be a good way to advance, get these ready to go. So when you actually do plant them out, they are going to germinate a little, maybe a day or two faster. So just a note there on that. And so now we're going to get our seeds here. So we got a number, let's start with our number 1 here. There it is. Got a little masking tape on there, hope I don't drop any of these. So I do actually have a few extra in here. I think I put in enough so that we should have enough to fill up our 72 cells. Okay. So, need to make some holes in here. I'm going to use my fingers here. That's the best way to make my holes, so we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so I get and so we got 3 here and 3 over here. I get my main 3 fingers here and center them on the hole and make a little impression there, trying to get as centered as possible. Just a little indentation, doesn't take a whole lot there. Okay, fix any that I see that didn't turn out right. My pinkies, or my other little finger doesn't sometimes get it as centered as I would like, so I will get those fixed real quick here. Any others that I see? That looks pretty good. Okay, so off we go here to get these planted here. So first variety, so number 1 here. So now what we also need to do is to label these, because I will definitely forget. So my favorite thing to label with is not plastic, because you know what? You got to throw them out and you got to collect them. If they're out in the garden, then you got to go collect them all and you got to make sure they get in the trash. These guys, you don't have to worry about that, because out in the garden when you're planting these things, that's one more thing you got to go collect and make sure you get rid of. But these, you can just leave them out there and they decompose. So that's the great thing about something organic, is that they will decompose out in the garden. And these are extremely cheap. I got, I don't know, 1,000 of them or something like that for like $4. So this lasts me years and years and years. Easy to write on. One thing that I mentioned this in the past, but for those that are new to my channel, I like to use the Sharpie Extreme fade resistant pens, because it's about May or something, the regular Sharpie starts to fade, and when you want to mark these out in the garden, actually even before that, about May 1st, when you're actually playing these things out, they already are starting to fade, and that's really frustrating when you can barely read the variety on there anymore. So got these fade resistant ones, and they definitely do work. They won't go the whole season. In fact, the sticks will start to decay towards September or so. The stick, you can barely read it just because of the wood deteriorating, not because necessarily the marker was fading, but because the wood kind of flaked, the ink kind of flakes off by then, and loses it. It's dark brown by then. It's hard to read anyway, but by then usually not too much of a trouble. Now if I'm going to save these, one thing I'll do is mark on my garden plan here for my bed space here. So I have where do I have my peppers this year? So these are on bed number 8, and I have little dots indicating where the plants are. So I'll make out all my dots, and then I can put a little number next to, or group them, put lines where differentiate them between the different groups, and then put a number next to each one for the variety, so that I can keep track. I can look on here and I can count the plants out there if I lose my marker, and I know I can figure out what variety it is. So do my first one here. So these are going to be the sweet chocolate pepper. Those guys right there. So all the information on this back here is advertisement. It has nothing to do with the pepper variety. Join us at the Heirloom Expo. Make plans to be part of our annual National Heirloom Expedition in Santa Rosa, California. So that's where they're going to have their expo this year. And when is it? Not going to tell me, are they? Nope, not going to tell me. Oh, there we go on the front here. September 10 to 12, Santa Rosa, California. You can see that right there. So anyway, if you're in California, you may want to go. Okay, so let's get these written out here. So chocolate, CHOCOLATE. O-L-A-T-E, chocolate. Okay. And I'll know it's a pepper, so I don't need to write pepper on there. I also want to put the date on there. So the back side is always good. If it's a long, short name, I can just put it on the same side at the end or something like that. Or if there's room down here. But if not, just put it on the back there, just the date here. So we got February 12 today. So 2/12. Put them like that on there. And then, so we got to figure out how many seeds we're doing here. This one variety. So we got that one there? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I said I wanted 4, I'm going to plant 6. So actually, one cell tray here, we'll put that in there. Identify that one. And then we're going to get these planted out here. So either just pick these up, try some different methods like a paintbrush, try to get these up here, grab them, just like that. Okay, so just kind of grabbing them up there with the paintbrush, try to get them in the center there as much as possible. So just kind of touching them, scooping them up, whatever it takes to. Some of these are going to be a little more stubborn. Alright, so get that in there. And that one there. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to shove these down, make sure they're in as close to the center as possible, and then just squeeze them over. This is fairly dry stuff. And so I will bottom water these to get them to soak it up. And if you were watching my, onion starting, I said I don't know how well this stuff soaks up. Well, it turns out it works really well. So it wicks it up from the bottom, I don't know, within an hour or something like that. They were all soaked up to the top, water. And so, works well with the peat moss in there and the compost. All right, so that's just about it here. I'm going to work on finishing this flat up, and then I will show you something else really neat, so stay tuned. So one of the ways I am going to germinate these this year is using a germination chamber. Now you want to do some research on those. These are really neat. It allows the plants to germinate with just in a few days, maybe 3 or 4 days as opposed to maybe a week. So the idea here is to create a humid, warm environment for these seeds to germinate, and this really boosts the germination speed. And you'll look on charts as far as temperature goes. The higher the temperature usually, up to a point, it definitely increases the germination time on these seeds. So that's what I'm attempting to do. And one of the most cost-effective ways to build one is to use an old freezer or refrigerator and to use some kind of heating source in the bottom. And someone recommended putting a crock pot in the bottom with a thermostat on it. And I was thinking, hey, why do I need to go buy a thermostat when my electric skillet has its own thermostat on there? So I put that on the bottom, tried it out, works beautifully to adjust the temperature just right. I have a thermometer in there and a humidity gauge to tell me what the temperature and humidity is. So I have got this all done here. Oh, one of the other things that I wanted to mention here, try not to spill, is I'd just put some water in the bottom here. So it's starting to soak up here, but I don't want to spill it if I tip it too much. It's dripping a little bit, so I need to be careful here. So instead of writing the variety on each one of these sticks, which could fade and be hard to read, simply write a number on them. So that's the number of the variety there. So that's going to be fairly easy to see and a lot quicker than trying to write the variety, especially when you have to write it several times. So anyway, just wanted to make a note of that. So I'm going to put this in my germination chamber. So it's pretty dark over here, so it's a little bit hard to see here. I don't have very good light over here, but you can kind of see what we got going here. So there's the hot plate down in the, or not really a hot plate, this is more of a, this is a fiberware electric skillet. This is a kind of an antique here. Got this one from my grandma, and my mom has one as well, but they're stainless steel, work very well. Anyway, I just pour a little bit of water in there and turn it up. I think I have it at, let's see what the temperature is right now. Oh, it's off right now. The temperature is up to about 85 in here. I have a little thermometer up at the top there, and still have some. This is our freezer that we're not using right now. We're using it for storage. Makes a great little cabinet. So it's at about 85 right now in here. And I also have my humidity gauge down in here. So right now I need to put some more water in here. It's down to about 65% humidity, which is a little low. I want it probably 90% humidity. So anyway, so I have my tray in there, and you can stack these. So I did these for my onions, and within 24 hours I got them all to germinate here. Not from direct, they had been sitting there for, oh, let's see, I put them in there last night, and this morning they were all germinated. Now, so I planted or seeded them on the 6th, and today's the 12th. So it took about, 6 days to germinate them, both being out and in here, but seems to work. I'm going to see how quickly, just seeding and putting them in directly in here, see how quickly we can at least get the peppers to germinate. So I also have another, the top tray up here is another variety of onions that I seeded here. That's called Newburgh, and that is a Allen Capular variety. So giving that one a try as well. So doing a flat of that. And so then the peppers there. So anyway, just wanted to show you that. Seems to work really well. So I close it up here. You can see the cord down at the bottom. And it actually closes up pretty well. So the cord just kind of comes up, and I have an outlet right there, which is handy. So I just let it sit in there. It doesn't seem to bother it at all. So I'm really excited to use my germination chamber, and I'll let you guys know how long it takes to germinate these seeds. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.